Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, and it is, what is it, February 6th? I think I got the date right. 2023. Here we go once again. Good morning, Miss Kathy. You're the first one on, and you were on very quickly. Your alert must have came, and there's Jackie right behind you. The two of you, bang, bang, chitty, chitty. There's Miss Marie. You guys are ready to go today. Um, Apologies out to you guys. I was intending on getting yesterday's message up, but I didn't. I just didn't have time. I got up, went out to Jordan Creek. We didn't have help in one of our stores this weekend, so Becky and I had to split up this weekend. So Saturday, Becky went out to Jordan Creek, and I worked in the store. And yesterday, I went out to Jordan Creek, and Becky worked in the store. And so was doing that. And then what was really nice is that I didn't have to pack everything up into the car. Since we are going to be out there every weekend, they gave us a storage room. Nice, isn't it? They gave us a storage room. The only thing is that I had to cover all the displays up and roll them into a storage room. And so that took a while to do. Then got home and ate dinner. Becky had a wonderful roast and vegetables, taties, and all the rest, ready to go. And then I sat and watched The Chosen. Chosen episode 7. Didn't get to the theater to watch it on the big screen. So I did watch episode 7 last night. And then Tuesday night is when they're going to have the season finale. So have you guys seen, did you go to the theater and watch it on the big screen, or did you watch it last night and then you're going to tune in tomorrow night as well? So that's what my plan is that tomorrow night I'll catch the final episode of season 3. And then I was kind of looking into, have you guys heard about The Shift? It's supposed to be kind of like the story of Job in present day. Well, it's kind of like a present day presentation. And instead of the character's name being Job, it's Kevin. Oh boy. Has anybody heard anything about this? I watched the short movie because of course they were advertising about The Shift, and 3 of the characters from The Chosen are going to be in The Shift. So of course I went down that rabbit hole, and I went out on YouTube and saw the short movie. They have like a little over 20-minute movie, kind of like a trailer type movie, short clip, short story, and they're making it into a full-length movie. And they've now casted it, and they're actually shooting it right now. And they're going to shoot it over the course of, like, I can't remember if it's 23 or 25 days. They're going to shoot 200 scenes in that short period of time. It's just incredible. And then it'll come out probably, if it doesn't come out later this year, it'll come out next year. So we have that to look forward to as well. That's also being done via crowdfunding and being done through Angel Studios. And if you've got the Angel Studio app, there are other programming on there as well. I actually watched the movie, was it The Testament? I think that was the name of the movie. That was something else. Anyway, I don't know if you guys got the app and if you've watched any of that programming and any of that programming that you would recommend as well. I am waiting for, do you know that, Kathy, do you know that you can watch it on 222? There is going to be a special kind of like, what would that be called? Pre-screening, because the movie comes out in theaters in February 24th, but there is a special night on the 22nd in which you can go before it officially releases. Don't know if you know that, but yeah, it's kind of funny because the one of the characters in that is, of course, uh, playing the role of Jesus in The Chosen, and he looks just like it. And I thought that it was Jesus appearing in another movie, but he's just a hippie that looks like Jesus. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get this show on the road. First, I need to go find the message. Here is the message for today. Today, let God's light shine upon us and through us, bringing love and God to the world. Let our hearts be joyous, peaceful, and loving, having a happy, whoops, hit the wrong button, having a happy, joyous heart to journey into this day. Let us learn from God's written word. Love does no wrong to anyone. That's why it fully satisfies all of God's requirements. It is the only law you need. Live life with happiness and joyfulness. Don't get encumbered in busyness, a full calendar, work, and all other stuff that society pushes at us. Stop and enjoy the happiness of life and the love of others that surround us. Realize what we think we will become, what we feel we attract, what we imagine we create. Let the love of God be our guide in life. Listen and learn from God and others that He places in our lives so that we can grow in our relationship and the experiences of life. Spend that special time with God in prayer, sharing with Him all our pain, sorrow, grief, and loss. He will give us comfort, rest, and strength to rise up and feel the benefits of His love and grace. Let us walk with God and His Spirit. His power will invigorate us, and we can live one day at a time walking with Him, one step at a time, being refreshed, renewed, being given the opportunity to have peace, joy, love, and understanding in the new day. Let our day be filled with courage to take on new things. Let us have a passion for doing what we love and what is right, having ambition to aim higher. Resilience is big to have in overcoming obstacles, humility to learn from others, and love and kindness for ourselves and others. God's blessings on your day. Much love to each of you. There is your message for today. What do we got? Marie, that is awesome. There we go. That is a wonderful story, Marie. It just says, I was truly blessed this weekend. My truck broke. I prayed. My prayers came true. I made the money to fix her. That's wonderful. All right, let's get to the weather for today by Chief Meteorologist Miss Marcia. I did not get it typed into the comments, so listen carefully for the weather near you. Des Moines, 51 scattered showers, 12-mile-an-hour winds. West Des Moines, 50 scattered showers, 13-mile-an-hour winds. Waukee, 49 scattered showers, 13-mile-an-hour winds. Council Bluffs, 48 cloudy, 12-mile-an-hour winds. Pleasant Hill, 50 scattered showers, 12-mile-an-hour winds. Altoona, 50 scattered showers, 12-mile-an-hour winds. Dubuque, 42 scattered showers, 9-mile-an-hour winds. Monticello and Dave, 43 scattered showers. I'm seeing a lot of showers out there today. 9-mile-an-hour winds. And then we get down to Scott in Kansas City, 65, cloudy, 8-mile-an-hour winds. And it says 4. That means Scott, of course, when you say 4, it's always 4 after work. Dixon, Miss Tina, 42, partly cloudy, 3-mile-an-hour winds. Waxhaw, 62, sunny, 3-mile-an-hour winds. Sierra Vista, Arizona, 61, sunny, 6-mile-an-hour winds. And Texas Tommy, 77, fog, 5-mile-an-hour winds. Have a great day, everyone. And that's your weather forecast brought to you by Chief Meteorologist, Miss Marcia. All right, we've got that in. Let's see, where are we? We've got a short story time. The Book of Amazing Stories. Today, with it being February 6th, let's read about, are you ready? Marie, do you have your tea ready? We have, let me see, I'm going to adjust this a little bit. There we go. The turkey that soared. This almost should be like a Thanksgiving story. Turkey, they should have put the turkey on Thanksgiving, but then again, Thanksgiving moves around every year because it's always like the fourth Thursday in November, and so you would never hit it on the right day. But it should be in the month of November in any case. But today we're going to read about the turkey that soared. It's been decades since the day Michael electrified the world. Now folks show up at store openings to watch him perform silly antics in a chicken suit. Occasionally, Michael gets a gig on a cruise ship selling inspiration mostly to old folks. He lives in a home filled with debris and memorabilia, still has his trademark laugh, snorts through his nose, and wears those pop bottle glasses, the lovable nerd with a goofy smile, making a living off of that one magical day in Calgary. This son of a blue-collar family was a sickly, accident-prone child, the clumsiest kid on the playground. Yet, even if he was short on talent, Michael was long on dreams. He fantasized that he would someday stand on the podium at the as an Olympic medalist. He failed at every sport he tried. His dad begged him to give up his impossible dream, but he refused. Then Michael hit up upon a novel idea. Great Britain didn't have a ski jumper on its Winter Olympics team. It didn't matter that he had never ski jumped. There was an empty spot for the filling. The British Olympic Committee rejected him, but he wouldn't give up. He crisscrossed Europe, entering competitions, living in an old car, grubbing food out of garbage cans, shoveling snow, and scrubbing floors. He competed in thick pink and white rimmed glasses, wore 6 pairs of old socks in his hand-me-down boots, and used beat-up skis, the laughingstock of the circuit. He came in dead last in every competition. Yet in a turn of events that could have only been dreamed up in Hollywood, Michael made the British Olympic team in 1988. The world remembers Michael Edwards by his nickname, Eddie. His embarrassed teammates gave him other names: Fast Eddie, Slow Eddie, Crazy Eddie, Unsteady Eddie, Mr. Magoo on skis, the Abominable Snowman. But the one that stuck was Eddie the Eagle. In his qualifying jumps, he looked more like a turkey, falling flat on his face to the laughter of competitors, spectators, and commentators. But the lovable loser's determination inspired those at the ski jump venue, as well as a worldwide audience. Then came that magical jump. It didn't pull Eddie out of last place, but he did soar. When he stuck the landing, the announcer shouted, "The eagle has landed." Eddie danced on his skis with the unbridled joy of a child, fist pumping the air in wild abandon. The crowd went crazy, caught up in Eddie's jubilation. The turkey who soared in Calgary became a worldwide sensation. Today, Eddie dons a chicken suit and performs silly antics for a crowd at a supermarket opening, earning a few euros off that magical day when he became the stuff of Olympic legend. Eddie is the patron saint of every lovable loser who refuses to give up on dreams. He should encourage every person of mediocre talent who dares to believe that even turkeys can soar if they can keep flapping away. Eddie the Eagle would probably agree with this. You remember Eddie the Eagle? I don't. I'm going to have to go. I got to guess that he's probably on a YouTube video somewhere. I used to watch the Olympics as a kid, but you know what? I must have missed 1988. 1988, let's see. I was probably working because that's about the time I would have been getting out of college and working. Until you risk spreading your wings, you will never know how high you can fly. Better read that again. I kind of botched it up a little bit. Until you risk spreading your wings, you will never know how high you can fly. And then the verse at the end is, "Those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. They will soar high on wings like eagles." Isaiah 40, verse 31. I had a kid by then. Okay, Kathy, thank you. And there is your story time for today. I love to watch the Olympics. I used to watch them all the time, but you know what? I can't tell you the last time I watched the Olympics. Kind of makes me think about the award show. Apparently, what there was Grammys. I used to be, as a kid, one of those people that watched all those different award shows. I got to honestly say, I don't watch any of them anymore. A lot of stuff I did as a kid, I don't do anymore. I used to be watched all the Olympics, watched all the award shows, and now I don't do any of that. Anyway, so there you go. We've taken care of our reading, our weather, sports news. I totally missed. I know that Iowa had a big win. The Iowa men had a big win over Illinois. Totally missed that as well because I was working at the store and I got an alert on my phone, post game show that I have signed up on YouTube that tells me Iowa's going, the Iowa post game's going live in 30 minutes, which means that tells me, oh, there's an Iowa game on I totally missed. But apparently Iowa beat Illinois 81-79. Another big win for the Iowa men as they move their way back up the standings once again. Then there was the Pro Bowl competition, flag football game. I missed all of that. So maybe Bible Blues Brother Scott can fill us in, but I don't think it was very important. So that's your sports news for today. Yep. Jackie doesn't watch them. They're terrible. They're horrible and totally inappropriate. I know. I saw on my phone this morning where they showed some of the people and how they dress, and I don't know. They call it fashion. I call it a waste of money. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but apparently the people say that's fashion. Oh, how fashionable that person is. And I'm just like, who fashioned this, kids? Not to make fun of kids. I'm sorry. I should not make fun of kids, but uh, I just call it a waste of money. All right. Let's get into our readings for today. We're going to pick up in Old Testament reading, Exodus 23, verse 14. Each year you must celebrate 3 festivals in my honor. First, celebrate the festival on unleavened bread. For 7 days, the bread you must eat must be made without yeast, just as I commanded you. Celebrate this festival annually at the appointed time in early spring in the month of Abib, for that is the anniversary of your departure from Egypt. No one may appear before me without an offering. Second, celebrate the festival of harvest when you bring me the first crops of your harvest. Finally, celebrate the festival of final harvest at the end of the harvest season when you have harvested all the crops from, let's go, these pages are so thin. There we go. Your fields. At these 3 times each year, every man in Israel must appear before the sovereign Lord, or the Lord. You must not offer the blood of my sacrificial offerings together with any baked goods containing yeast. And do not leave the fat from the festival offerings until the next morning. As you harvest your crops, bring the very best of the first harvest to the house of the Lord your God. You must not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. See, I am sending an angel before you to protect you on your journey and lead you safely to the place I have prepared for you. Pay close attention to him and obey his instructions. Do not rebel against him, for he is my representative and he will not forgive your rebellion. But if you are careful to obey him, following all my instructions, then I will be an enemy to your enemies, and I will oppose those who oppose you. For my angel will go before you and bring you into the land of the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, Canaanites, Hivites, and Jebusites, so you may live there, and I will destroy them completely. You must not worship the gods of these nations or serve them in any way or imitate their evil practices. Instead, you must utterly destroy them and smash their sacred pillars. You must serve only the Lord your God. If you do, I will bless you with food and water, and I will protect you from illness. There will be no miscarriages or infertility in your land, and I will give you long, full lives. I will send my terror ahead of you and create panic among the people whose lands you invade. I will make all your enemies turn and run. I will send terror ahead of you to drive out the Hivites, the Canaanites, and the Hittites. But I will not drive them out in a single year, because the land would become desolate and wild animals would multiply and threaten you. I will drive them out a little at a time until your population has increased enough to take possession of the land. And I will fix your boundaries from the Red Sea to the Mediterranean Sea, and from the eastern wilderness to the Euphrates River. I will hand over to you the people now living in the land, and you will drive them out ahead of you. Make no treaties with them or their gods. They must not live in your land, or they will cause you to sin against me. If you serve their gods, you will be caught in the trap of idolatry. Then the Lord instructed Moses, come up here to me and bring along Aaron, Nadab, Nadab, Abihu, and the 70 of Israel's elders. All of you must worship from a distance. Only Moses is allowed to come near to the Lord. The others must not come near, and none of the other people are allowed to climb up the mountain with him. Then Moses went down to the people and repeated all the instructions and regulations the Lord had given him. All the people answered with one voice, "We will do everything the Lord has commanded." Then Moses carefully wrote down all the Lord's instructions. Early the next morning, Moses got up and built the altar at the foot of the mountain. He also set up 12 pillars, one for each of the 12 tribes of Israel. Then he sent some of the young Israelite men to present burnt offerings and to sacrifice bulls as peace offerings to the Lord. Moses drained half the blood from these animals into basins. The other half he splattered against the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it aloud to the people. Again, they all responded, "We will do everything the Lord has commanded. We will obey." There's that O word, obedience. It was a situation in which Moses had to listen and then relay the information off to the people. And the people said, "We will obey everything the Lord has commanded." But of course, we know the rest of the story, and we know it didn't play out. Because if they would have fully obeyed the Lord, they would have all seen his plan play out. But as we know, they didn't. Most of them didn't, anyway. Then Moses took the blood from the basins and splattered it over the people, declaring, "Look, this blood confirms the covenant the Lord has made with you in giving you these instructions." Then Moses, Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, and the 70 elders of Israel climbed up the mountain. There they saw the God of Israel. Under his feet there seemed to be a surface of brilliant blue lapis lazuli, as clear as the sky itself. And though these nobles of Israel gazed upon God, he did not destroy them. In fact, they ate a covenant meal, eating and drinking in his presence. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Come up to me on the mountain. Stay there, and I will give you the tablets of stone on which I have inscribed the instructions and commands, so you can teach the people." So Moses and his assistant Joshua set out, and Moses climbed up the mountain of God. Moses told the elders, "Stay here and wait for us until we come back. Aaron and Hur are here with you. If anyone has a dispute while I am gone, consult with them." Then Moses climbed up the mountain, and the cloud covered it. And the glory of the Lord settled down on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it for 6 days. On the seventh day, the Lord called to Moses from inside the cloud. To the Israelites at the foot of the mountain, the glory of the Lord appeared at the summit like a consuming fire. Then Moses disappeared into the cloud as he climbed higher up the mountain. He remained on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Tell the people of Israel to bring me their sacred offerings. Accept the contributions from all whose hearts are moved to offer them. Here is a list of sacred offerings you may accept from them: gold, silver, and bronze." Kind of funny, we were talking about the Olympics: gold, silver, and bronze. Blue, purple, and scarlet thread, fine linen and goat hair for cloth, tan rim skins, and fine goatskin leather, acacia wood, olive oil for the lamps, spices for the anointing oil and the fragrant incense, onyx stones and other gemstones to be set in the ephod and the priest's chest piece. Have the people of Israel build me a holy sanctuary so I can live among them. You must build this tabernacle and its furnishings exactly according to the pattern I will show you. Have the people make an ark of acacia wood, a sacred chest 45 inches long, 27 inches wide, and 27 inches high. Overlay it inside and outside with pure gold and run a molding of gold all around it. Cast 4 gold rings and attach them to its 4 feet, 2 rings on each side. Make poles from acacia wood and overlay them with gold. Insert the poles into the rings at the sides of the ark to carry it. These carrying poles must stay inside the rings. Never remove them. When the ark is finished, place inside it the stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant, which I will give to you. Then make the ark's cover, the place of atonement, from pure gold. It must be 45 inches long and 27 inches wide. Then make 2 cherubim from hammered gold and place them on the 2 ends of the atonement cover. Mold the cherubim on each end of the atonement cover, making it all one piece of gold. The cherubim will face each other and look down on the atonement cover. With their wings spread above it, they will protect it. Place inside the ark the stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant, which I will give to you. Then put the atonement cover on top of the ark. I will meet with you there and talk to you from above the atonement cover between the gold cherubim that hover over the ark of the covenant. From there I will give you my commands for the people of Israel. Then make a table of acacia wood, 36 inches long, 18 inches wide, and 27 inches high. Overlay it with pure gold and run a gold molding around the edge. Decorate it with a 30-inch border all around and run a gold molding along the border. Make 4 gold rings for the table and attach them at the 4 corners next to the 4 legs. Attach the rings near the border to hold the poles that are used to carry the table. The thing you got to think about here is, at least this is what I'm thinking about as I read this, the detail. These are all instructions that the Lord is giving to Moses. Details. And to hear the details, you have to be a good listener. So, we talk about shalom, and it's seek him and then ask. Listening is important. Sometimes we get caught up in asking and praying, and we don't do a good enough job of listening. Listening is very important because we want to call upon God and we want to give him all our petitions, but we need to take the time to listen. And if we listen, he will give instructions. He will give direction and guidance. And that's what I kind of pick up out of this, the detail. He's giving detail. So, of course, Moses has to listen carefully, and then he has to obey. He has to follow the instructions. I've been amazed when I sit back and think of all the manpower, the physical toll, the details. Yeah, he gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. Amen to that. Listen. And that's what I get captured on is all the detail. He's telling them down to, how wide, how tall, how long. He's giving him the dimensions, giving him what needs to appear, the details. God will give us the details. Make these poles from acacia wood and overlay them with gold. Make special containers of pure gold for the table, bowls, ladles, pitchers, and jars to be used in pouring out liquid offerings. Place the bread of the presence on the table to remain before me at all times. Make a lampstand of pure hammered gold. Make the entire lampstand and its decorations of one piece: the base, center, stem, lamp cups, buds, and petals. Make it with 6 branches going out from the center stem, 3 on each side. Each of the 6 branches will have 3 lamp cups shaped like almond blossoms, complete with buds and petals. Craft the center stem of the lampstand with 4 lamp cups shaped like almond blossoms, complete with buds and petals. There will also be an almond bud beneath each pair of branches, where the 6 branches extend from the center rim. The almond buds and branches must all be of one piece with the center stem, and they must be hammered from pure gold. Then make the 7 lamps for the lampstand and set them so they reflect their light forward. The lamp snuffers and trays must also be made of pure gold. You will need 75 pounds of pure gold for the lampstand and its accessories. Be sure that you make everything according to the pattern I have shown you here on the mountain. I don't know about you, but this is a lot of instruction. Is he writing all this down? Because I tell you what, I have a good memory, but I couldn't remember all this. And that's your reading for today on Old Testament. Let's get to New Testament reading. We're going to continue on in the book of Matthew 24, verse 29. Immediately after the anguish of those days, the sun will be darkened, the moon will give no light, the stars will fall from the sky, and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. And then at last, the sign that the Son of Man is coming will appear in the heavens, and there will be deep mourning among all the peoples of the earth. And they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send out his angels with a mighty blast of the trumpet, and they will gather his chosen ones from all over the world, from the farthest ends of the earth and heaven. Now learn a lesson from the fig tree. When its branches and bud, when its branches bud and its leaves begin to sprout, you know that summer is near. In the same way, when you see all these things, you can know his return is very near, right at the door. I tell you the truth, this generation will not pass from the scene until all these things take place. Heaven and earth will disappear, but my words will never disappear. However, no one knows the day or the hour when these things will happen, not even the angels in heaven or the Son himself. Only the Father knows. When the Son of Man returns, it will be like it was in Noah's day. In those days before the flood, the people were enjoying banquets and parties and weddings right up to the time Noah entered his boat. People didn't realize what was going to happen until the flood came and swept them all away. That is the way it will be when the Son of Man comes. 2 men will be working together in the field. One will be taken, the other left. Two women will be grinding flour at the mill. One will be taken, the other left. So you too must keep watch, for you don't know what day your Lord is coming. Understand this. If the homeowner knew exactly when a burglar was coming, he would keep watch and not permit his house to be broken into. You must also be ready all the time, for the Son of Man will come when least expected. A faithful, sensible servant is one to whom the master can give the responsibility of managing his other household servants and feeding them. If the master returns and finds that the servant has done a good job, there will be a reward. I tell you the truth, the master will put that servant in charge of all he owns. But what if the servant is evil and thinks, my master won't be back for a while? And he begins beating the other servants, partying and getting drunk. The master will return unannounced and unexpected, and he will cut the servant to pieces and assign him a place with the hypocrites. In that place, there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So, you know what that story equates to: God the Father and our Lord and Son, Jesus Christ, who could appear at any moment. What are we doing in getting ready for his arrival? We don't know whether it may happen in our lifetime or not. But the idea of the story is that we must always be prepared, because we never know. We never truly know the day that either Jesus will appear in the sky or we'll take our last breath on this earth. What are we doing? How are we preparing? Are we acceptable to him? That is the question that we must all answer. Some people, it makes me think about my younger years when, you know, not necessarily the beating other servants, but partying and getting drunk. And I got to say, I wasn't really big into that, but I'm not going to say I didn't do it either, because that wouldn't be truth either. Even though I worked really hard while I was in college, you always find that Friday or Saturday night in which you can go out and go to a bar, or you find out about the party going on at somebody's house, and then you do a lot of excessive drinking, and then you wake up wishing you hadn't done it. I'm not going to do this again, until you do it again. And so we just don't know when either Jesus will appear in the sky or we will take our last breath here. So it's a matter of always being on watch and making sure that we are doing what is right and good. And if we're not, that we're repenting and asking for forgiveness so that we can right ourselves once again. Psalm 30, verses 1 through 12. I will exalt you, Lord, for you rescued me. You refused to let my enemies triumph over me. O Lord my God, I cried to you for help, and you restored my health. You brought me up from the grave, O Lord. You kept me from falling into the pit of death. Sing to the Lord, all you godly ones. Praise his holy name. For his anger lasts only a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may last through the night, but joy comes with the morning. When I was prosperous, I said, nothing can stop me now. Your favor, O Lord, made me as secure as a mountain. Then you turned away from me, and I was shattered. I cried out to you, O Lord. I begged the Lord for mercy, saying, what will I gain if I die, if I sink into the grave? Can my dust praise you? Can it tell of your faithfulness? Hear me, Lord, and have mercy on me. Help me, O Lord. You have turned my mourning into joyful dancing. You have taken away my clothes of mourning and clothed me with joy, that I might sing praises to you and not be silent. O Lord my God, I will give you thanks forever. And then we have Proverbs 7, verses 24 through 27. So listen to me, my sons, and pay attention to my words. Don't let your hearts stray away toward her. Don't wander down her wayward path. For she has been the ruin of many. Many men have been her victims. Her house is the road to the grave. Her bedroom is the den of death. So we're supposed to stay out of trouble. But what are we to do if we have got ourselves caught in some of this trouble? It again comes back to, if you mess up, you fess up. You come to him acknowledging you're wrong and seek his forgiveness. And if you come with him with a true repentant heart, he will forgive you, give you grace and mercy. And that is the end of the reading for today. And we go back. Let's see. Where are we at for time? Are we good on time? Would you like another story? Who would like another book of an amazing story? What I'll do is, let's see. I think we've got a little time. Let's see. Let's read about the most courageous man in America. In 1986, Italian runner Gianni Poli won the New York City Marathon in 2 hours and 11 minutes. That's crazy time. In 2003, Mark Yadich of Kenya triumphed at the Los Angeles Marathon in a time of 2 hours and 10 minutes. But the greatest marathons of all time may have been run by the guy who finished dead last in both races in the slowest times ever recorded. In 1986, he completed the New York City race in about 98 hours. It took him a little more than 173 hours to cross the finish line at Los Angeles in 2003. We get wowed by how fast the fastest runners can run. But how many hung around to wait for the slowest runners to come in? Before you write Bob Whelan off, you need to know that he completed both marathons using only his arms and torso. Bob has no legs. In 1969, while trying to rescue a fallen buddy in Vietnam, he stepped on a mortar round designed to destroy tanks. He sent this short note to his parents. Dear Mom and Dad, I'm in the hospital. Everything is going to be okay. The people here are taking good care of me. Love, Bob. P.S. I think I lost my legs. Bob could have shriveled up in a wheelchair. Instead, he walked across America on his hands. That exploit took 3 years, 8 months, and 6 days. He's the only double amputee ever to complete the Ironman triathlon in Kona, Hawaii without a wheelchair. He swam 2.4 miles, then biked 112 miles, and finished up with a 26.2-mile marathon using only his arms. He twice made a 6,200-mile round trip bike ride across America and has amassed 4 world records in weightlifting, including a 570 pound bench press. I can't even imagine that. It's no wonder Bob Whelan is called Mr. Inspiration. The NFL Players Association awarded him the title the most courageous man in America. People magazine dubbed him one of the 6 most amazing Americans. After he took more than a week to complete the Los Angeles Marathon while walking on his hands at age 57, that's how old I am right now. I can't imagine doing that. Even in good health, well, not maybe good health, but pretty good health at 57. Bob told the Associated Press this was supernatural. It was done by the grace of God. He then summed up his life without legs. I do it one step at a time. Bob Whelan reminds us that the race of life isn't won by the fastest. It's always good to remember that by perseverance and patience, the snail made it to Noah's ark before the flood. Most victories in life are won by the plodders, and only the persistent learn to run on their arms after the legs are gone. Maybe the wear and tear of life has put you on the ragged edge of giving up before the race is over. The story of Bob Whelan reminds us that when our legs are gone and our arms are worn to nubs, we can still make it. Bob would agree with something Robert W. Service once wrote. It's the steady, quiet, plodding ones who win in the lifelong race. What it makes me think about too is when you feel like you just cannot endure anymore, when you feel like, when is this ever going to end? What we must never forget is that God is with you. If you have accepted him and the sacrifice the Son made on the cross for you, you are not alone. And when you feel like you cannot take another step, he is there to pick you up and carry you if needed. You don't have to go this alone. He is with you every step of the way. And the prayer, little prayer at the end is, I have observed something else under the sun. The fastest runner doesn't always win the race, and the strongest warrior doesn't always win the battle. That's Ecclesiastes 9, verse 11. That was a good story, too. So there is your double story time. And let's get to our prayer and wrap up today, this Monday, February 6th, 2023. Debbie lost both parents and her eyesight when Islamic terrorists bombed her Sri Lankan church one Easter morning. A day of joyfully celebrating Christ's resurrection with family and friends ended with Debbie, a blinded orphan. But while Debbie has lost her sight, she hasn't lost her eternal perspective. Why cry, she says. My parents are with Jesus. One day we will also go to be with Jesus. Lord, may all who serve you in hostile areas and restricted nations, where a martyr's death is an ever present risk, experience a deep hope of heaven. Encourage my brothers and sisters. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. What an amazing perspective. She lost her family. She lost her eyesight, but she didn't lose sight of what was most important. That's where sometimes I say, there's the people who can't see that can see so much better and see it so much more clearly than the ones who can see. Because what we see here is a world that is getting crazy, that seems as though it's falling apart. What we can't see, at least right now, is the beautiful paradise that awaits us, the ones who have given our lives to Him. Let's not lose focus on that. Let's not forget about that. We're going to go through trials and tribulations. We're going to face deep losses. Things aren't always going to go our way. It's just not fair. Life here is just not fair. But let's just not get caught up in the unfairness and the craziness of this world. But let's keep our focus on Him and the promises that await when we head home one day. And when is that day? We don't know. But we better be on the watch out. Seek Him. Ask, listen, obey, make it happen. We must seek Him and seek shalom, for we never know the moment that we will go home. Take care. God bless. Have a wonderful day, and God willing, we'll be back with you again come tomorrow morning. Until then.